Hello and welcome to Wasted Plotential, where we discuss the wasted potential of our favourite plotlines. I've commented numerous times in the past about how much smaller the MK universe has gotten since the dawn of the Netherrealm era, but I'd like to go a little deeper and explain where exactly we went wrong and why this is such a big problem. And this is actually part of a larger issue that goes back to the classic era. Yeah, I'm taking Midway to task on this as well, so people who still think I'm just a Midway fanboy can get in the sea. Starting out, we had Earthrealm, Outworld and the Netherrealm, but only Earthrealm mattered in MK1's original plot. Early games made use of the realms to give each game its own unique atmosphere. An island placed between Earthrealm and Outworld was the setting for MK1, retroactively, with a classic Enter the Dragon-esque martial arts tournament vibe. The newly relevant Outworld was the setting for MK2 with its grim hellscapes and Roman Empire-inspired gladiatorial arena. MK3 then brought the fight to Earth, with most of the stages just being set in Chicago. Some might say this makes the game's atmosphere kinda boring, but considering it's in the middle of an invasion of Earthrealm, it raises the stakes to new heights in a manner similar to Halo 2 and half the cancelled Aliens projects. Then, with MK3 seeing the restoration of Edenia, MK4 was set primarily there, with a little Netherrealm action thrown in, presumably in the climax. Only MK4 didn't actually make use of this setting. The game stages are all set in Earthrealm, Outworld or the Netherrealm. Part of this is down to the team's desire to present certain older stages in full 3D, but it's still bizarre that we didn't get a single stage set in Edenia, even though that could have been used in a cool way. Picture an iconic stage from MK2, just any stage that takes place in Outworld. Now imagine we learn that that location was originally part of Edenia. MK4 could have given us a more peaceful version of that stage, something old being presented in a new way that, simply by existing, serves as some easy world building. But no, none of that. Deadly Alliance returned to Outworld, but in exclusively new locations, albeit with some set in Earthrealm, which is fine. The stages are at least appropriate to the story. The game also introduced us to both Vaeternus and Zeterra, the former of which is freed from Outworld in this very game. Deception's present story is still set in Outworld, but the game really opened things up, especially in Conquest mode. In addition to the 4 prior realms, we're also introduced to Chaos Realm and Sado, the Realm of Order, as well as the nexus that exists between the realms. And these new realms had some really cool ideas, like a civil war between a totalitarian regime and an insurgency that you'd think NetherRealm would see the value in after using the concept in a certain other franchise, as well as a realm of chaotic weirdos who have so much potential for out there designs and abilities if Havoc is anything to go by. I'm not sure why Vaeternus isn't featured at all, but whatever, it's not a big deal. There's room to explore it in a later game after Nitara's done rebuilding. While we didn't get any proper stages set in either of the new realms or Edenia, we did still get to explore them and have fights in their training stages as Shujinko. So not a bad expansion of the setting, but still with room to improve. Armageddon's Conquest mode exclusively uses the first 4 realms, with its climax taking place in Edenia, finally giving us 2 actual stages set in that realm. It only took 4 fucking games after the realm was established to get here. But in spite of that, Edenia still got snubbed overall in this game. Despite the entire main conflict taking place in Edenia, most of the stages are completely irrelevant to the battle or Taven's quest and take place in the other 3 core realms, with a bunch being remade versions of older stages. What the hell? 2011 gets a pass being a revisit of MK1 to 3. As long as all 3 relevant realms are represented, it's fine. And Jade's Desert might actually be set in Edenia now? It's a little unclear. But if it is, that makes 3 stages set in Edenia across the entire series. The realm debuted in 1995, and we have had 2, maybe 3 stages set in that realm in the 26 years since. But you know, it's only a minor realm, not like it's important or anything. You know, it's not like Sindel, Kitana, Jade, Ermac, Rain, Taven, Dagon, and Tanya are all from that realm. But no, it's an irrelevant realm, it doesn't really matter. We don't need stages set in Edenia. It's not like players might want to see the impact of what the main characters have achieved by the end of MK3. No, we can just be told that Edenia is free and everything's fine. We don't need to see it. Jesus Christ. So yeah, MKX and 11 then feature Earthrealm, Outworld and the Netherrealm. Edenia and Vaeternus remain merged with Outworld and supposedly impossible to free. Order Realm is mentioned only in non-canon endings, and Chaos Realm is name-dropped in the comic in Aftermath, but that's it. Oh sure, Tremor's MKX ending canonized the Dream Realm from Freddy Krueger's bio in 2011, and the comic established the Arniac Islands, which might not even be a separate realm, it's not clear, but nothing was done with them. Even Chronica's Keep, the home of the Titan of Time who we're to believe exists beyond the bounds of time and space, is just in the Netherrealm. And don't even get me started on that whole Chronica is above the entity whose essence was used to create the realms in the fucking first place crap. The Hourglass is in one of the realms created from his essence, Dom. When all is said and done, the MK universe has half as many settings by the end of the second timeline as it did by the end of the first. And instead of exploring any of those settings we only scratched the surface of before, NetherRealm Studios was content to pick only the 3 most prominent realms and never deviate from that selection across the entire trilogy. 3 entire games and we were only allowed to explore 3 realms in all that time, while Deception alone let us go to 6. That's fucking pathetic and speaks to both NetherRealm's near exclusive focus on the original trilogy for material and their incredibly half-assed approach to building the setting. With those games as its basis, is it any wonder the 2021 MK movie is set over 50% in a fucking cave? If you liked this video, why not subscribe and support me on Patreon like these fine people here? If not, then make sure to share it with your enemies so they can suffer along with you. Today's recommended video is History of the Realms Mortal Kombat 11 #Mortal Kombat 11 #Combat Pack 2 #Spawn by History Behind the Warrior. It's a video about the realms with a funny title. What more do you want?